Please be advised that I am not a gun expert, lawyer, or professional trainer. The content and topics discussed here are based on my own personal experiences. Please take them for what they're worth, but also do your own research so that you can make the best decisions for yourself accordingly. So you finally decided, made up your mind, and you're ready to go buy a gun. Now what do? Tune in to find out what your next steps should be. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the journey. So you finally made your decision and you're gonna go out there and you're gonna buy a gun. That's good for you. I'm excited. I know you're excited too. But now you're trying to figure out, where the hell do I go from here and what do I do? I got you covered. Don't worry. We're gonna get through this. So because there are multiple things to consider when you're gonna go out to buy a gun, I wanna break this down into a set of multiple videos so that I don't lose your attention and have you falling asleep, or your mind starting to drift off and you start thinking about things like cheese or how the weather's going to be looking like this weekend because it's not been acting right as of lately. So I wanted to make sure that I keep this as straight to the point as possible without losing you. Today, I want to focus on the 4 main questions that you should always ask yourself whenever you're going to make a purchase. And these are 4 questions that you should ask yourself regardless of whether this is your first time buying, if you own a few items already but you're still kind of novice, or if you own a lot of items already but you're just looking to add something new to your arsenal. These 4 questions are still the same thing across the board every single time. And yes, I said that really slow because I want to really stress that these are 4 things that are not going to change. You're always going to ask yourself these 4 questions. Those questions are why, what, how, and what's my budget? 4. The why and the what, they'll wash each other's hands, and for the most part, they'll help you define what you're looking for. The how is going to reiterate the answers that you made for your why and your what, and then you can focus on your budget. So for the why, it's very straightforward. The why is basically, why am I looking at a rifle versus a shotgun versus a pistol? Very straightforward. May not be the most straightforward answer if you don't have a mind made up already as far as what you're looking to get, but that's where the what comes into play. The what will help you fully define the why, and the why will help you define the what. Basically, because there are certain things that rifles can do that shotguns or pistols may not be as effective as. Same for shotguns, same for pistols. So defining the why is the first part, but the what will help you define that, and the why will also help you define the what. The what is basically, what is the intended purpose of this firearm? Is it for home defense? Is it for everyday carry, or as you may see online in the acronym EDC? Is it going to be for hunting? Or is it going to be a range toy that I use strictly at the range for practice or for competitive shooting? These are your main aspects of defining what the purpose is. Now, once you have a better idea of what you're going to be looking for, the how is going to basically fully define the first 2 questions. So if you don't have a full answer to the why and what yet, don't panic, because by the time you get to the how, you should by the time you finish the how, I should say, you should definitively know what you're going to have for your why and your what. Some of the questions in your what is going to define and make things easier for your why, so by the time you get into your how, it makes sense. So for today, we're going to focus primarily on pistol, mainly because for our first time buyers, a lot of you are buying pistols as your first time gun, and we'll approach rifles and shotguns in a later video, but for now we'll focus on pistols. So for that part, we've already defined what our why is. Now it's a matter of defining what our what is, and the how helps us reiterate what those answers are. So let's go into the how. How are we going to use this firearm? If it's for home defense, that pretty much speaks for itself. It's not leaving the house. It's strictly for when you're in the house to protect you and your loved ones who are in the house with you. Home defense, straightforward. Everyday carry is the one that has the variables that, for the most part, many of us are looking into. We'll broach into things like constitutional carry versus concealed carry versus open carry. We'll do that in a later video. We're not going to go into the weeds too deep with that one for now. But as far as for everyday carry, these are the things you want to consider when you're looking at that, when you're making the decision. How do you intend to carry this pistol? Do you intend to carry it outside the waistband? Do you intend to carry it inside your waistband, but across your hip? Do you want to carry it inside the waistband appendix style? And for a lot of you guys, I know you're cringing because I did too when I first started. That's a very touchy subject for a very touchy situation and area, obviously. We'll broach that again later as well. And last but not least, for you ladies, are you going to intend to carry off-body in a purse? I personally do not advocate for off-body carry because, ladies, if you are getting robbed, the 9 out of 10 times that you are getting robbed, they are going for your purse first. And if they get your purse, they are getting your money, they're getting your IDs, they're getting your credit cards, and now they're getting your gun. And what happens with you? You're SOL. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just giving you my rationale for why I do not advocate for it. But as always, you need to define for yourself which is the most convenient and ideal for you and go from there. And going forward, if you're hunting, some hunters like to have a sidecar pistol for their rifle and shotgun for smaller targets that they're going after that a rifle or a shotgun may be just too much power for. And for you range competitive shooters, there are guns that are specifically geared towards that particular field, especially competition shooting. If it's just a range toy for practice, there are a plethora of guns that you can use for that. Pretty much every gun can be used as a range toy, but there are certain guns that you just go for to bring with you to the range just for fun. Now, not to say that one gun can't handle multiple aspects, because they definitely can. There are guns out there that can handle all 4 solutions. They're not particularly good at any specific one. They just are able to do the job well across the board. There are guns that are more specific towards home defense versus there are guns that are specifically geared towards competition shooting. So don't be alarmed if you're trying to find one gun and worrying about, now I gotta buy another gun for this particular purpose. You can definitely find a gun that can handle all 4 duties, but the primary thing for you is to define what your specific purpose is first, and then you make your decision from there. Once you've made your decision across the board for these first 3 items, now you can worry about your budget. The budget, for the most part, is obviously the most critical for your wallet, because if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. But don't be confused as far as the price. Don't let the price fool you. There are guns out there that are $300, and there are guns out there that are well over $1,000. Just because a gun's $1,000 does not make it a better gun than a $500 gun or a $400 gun. Just because a gun is $500 does not make it a piece of crap when you look at it compared to an $800 gun. That is not always feasible, and that's not always the truth. So do your due diligence accordingly and don't get fooled by the price tag. Now, in future videos, I'm going to dig a little bit deeper into the budgets of each of these categories for your pistols, what to consider when you're looking at them for your budget, so that way you're not overspending on something or not underspending and end up trying to do things to bring yourself up to a higher end gun. I want to dig into more of the things of the sizes of the guns as well, so that way when you're making the decision, you'll be familiar with terminology such as full size versus compact versus subcompact versus micro, and where their effectiveness is, what are the pros and cons to each one of these. So these are things that I'll be talking about in later videos in regards to when you want to go and buy your gun. So if you have any questions, any topics that you want to go dig and deeper into, or if you just want to basically have a regular banter with me about certain items that I've discussed already in this video or in any other videos, please drop them in the comments. If you like what you see, share them with your friends, hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll be talking to you soon. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the journey.